Hello there. Good morning. How are you? Nice to see you. It's Keith from the Keith Speaking Academy. Welcome, and this good morning. And this morning, we're going to be looking at the topic of childhood, children, toys, things like that. We'll be looking at vocabulary, maybe some idioms, pronunciation, all to help you talk more fluently on the topic of childhood and children. Great. So, welcome all of you. It's nice to see you here. For those of you who are watching the recording here, please do subscribe to the channel if you like it. It's called English Speaking Success here. Do also please turn on the notifications so you can get a notification, of course, about the up and coming videos. I normally release a recorded video on Sundays, and of course we have the live lesson for about an hour, Tuesday and Thursday, 10 o'clock in Spanish time. It's 10 o'clock in Spain here in Europe. So a quick hello then to everybody here. Hello to Sandesh, Binita, Hannah, Dong, Blessing, Aidan, Guprit, Valentine, Mary Ann, hello Parminda, Zlata, Imad, Hitash, Puiti, Hannah, great. Kaustab, hola, buenos días. ¿Qué tal estamos? Bien? Bien. Great. So, it's Keith. I live in Spain, so I do like to speak Spanish, but of course I am British and I'm from Manchester originally. So today, if you're just arriving in the classroom, do come in. Today, what's that? What does that remind you of? Snow White, Disney, childhood, right? Reminds us of our childhood. And sure enough, today's topic is children, childhood. We'll be talking about toys. We'll be talking about, I'm so excited. We'll be talking about the way, childhood has changed. We're actually in the perfect room because this is my daughter's bedroom, right? And I think my daughter's childhood is very different from my childhood, which was very different from my grandfather's childhood, right? Now, my granddad, right, he used to say to us, back in the day when I was a boy, we didn't have all of these new toys that you had. We had to use our imagination. And he said, this was the only toy we ever had, a wooden spoon. We used to go to the kitchen, get the wooden spoon, and we would play with this for hours. Yes, Grandad. Really? What did you do, Grandad? And he would tell us, right? And we would use it for fighting. It could be a sword. It could be a magic wand. It could be a dagger. And they would use their imagination. And I used to think, Grandad, you're old. Times have changed. When I was a kid, right, we didn't have the internet. Somebody the other day asked me, they said, happy birthday, and they said, how old are you, Keith? Now, I didn't answer, but I'm going to tell you now, between you and me, right? Come in close. Between you and me, I'm 52. So I was born in 1967. I grew up in the 70s and the 80s as a teenager. And we had very different toys. This was one of my favourite toys. Do you remember this? Right? This is called the Slinky, and it used to go down the stairs. That was a great toy that I had as a kid. And we, really, yes, we, but it's a secret, don't tell anybody. We used to find our own toys. We would go to the forest or to the wood and find these things, right? I got one of these the other day. It's a conker, and it comes from a particular tree. And what we did as kids, we would make a hole, right? So you make a hole in the conker, you put a piece of string in, and then you hang it. And what you do is you fight your friends with it. It's a chestnut. Very good. Thank you, Tao Yuan. It's a chestnut. So we would take this conker, we call it a conker, and we would fight our friends. I don't mean we would hit our friends. One person holds up their conker, and then the friend goes, oh, it's broken. Wait a moment. Let me just repair it. Quick repair, man. Oh, the eloquence. Perfect TV. Right? We put it on. And then what we do is we go, foom, foom, and you'd hit the other conker. Great toys. It wasn't a toy. It wasn't an iPad. It wasn't a phone. It was a toy from nature. And we got lots of toys from nature. And I realise I have become my granddad. Oh dear. Guys, topic today, not over here, over here. Childhood. We're talking about children, childhood and toys, right? For those of you here for the first time, welcome. Very, very nice to see you. Ubaid Rais is the first time here. Welcome. Lovely to see you. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk a lot about children and toys and how times were different, right? Memories in the past. Does that sound okay? Let me get that tea. Great, excuse me. So, just before I begin, a very, very quick thank you to some people who have made a donation on the website to help me spend more time on the lessons and YouTube. Thank you, Elena Popa and Yuri Kaizaki. Thank you very, very much. Really, really appreciate your support. Okay, so let's begin. I'm going to kick off, or begin, right? Metaphor. Kick off, right? We're not playing football, but we're going to begin with some vocabulary. Very basic vocabulary, talking about child, right? So remember, child is the singular, one child. Plural is irregular, 5 children. Maybe you have 3 children or 4 children, okay? And different collocations. So we can say, talking about a child, a well-behaved child. I was a well-behaved child at school. Or I was an obedient child. Okay, obedient is the same. You follow orders or you do what you're told by parents and teachers. I was an obedient child. Listen really to the stress, right? And repeat with me so you really get the stress. Obedient. Good. Not oba, but obedient. I was an obedient child. Great. Now, maybe you were the opposite. You were not well behaved. You can say, I was a difficult child. Or I was a naughty child. Right? Naughty is a very good word with children. So you wouldn't use naughty for an adult, right? If you do something wrong or you don't listen to your boss, you're not naughty, right? Naughty is for children. A naughty child or a wayward child, right? The same meaning. Naughty, not well behaved. Wayward, wayward. I was a wayward child. Brilliant. Keep repeating with me, right? Really work on our pronunciation. I was a wayward child. Brilliant. We can talk about... oh, we've got some other ones here. Great. Let's add. Sheena says, stubborn. I was a stubborn child. I like it. Yes. You would never listen to your parents, right? I was a stubborn child. Well, I was a stubborn teenager. I think I was a well-behaved child, but a stubborn teenager. Thank you for that comment. Sajan says mischievous, right? Which is naughty. It's a really good word. Mischievous. I was a mischievous child. Again, get the mischievous. Mischievous child. Brilliant. Right. Good. Nice. Very good. I like this one. No, not that one. This one. I was as sharp. I was as sharp knife. Ah, right. We're almost there. This was the idiom from the other day, right? I was as sharp as a knife in my childhood, right? I was very clever, brilliant. Mad Men renew. I was as sharp as a knife. Excellent. Nice comments. We've also got childhood, the time of our being a child. My childhood, we can talk about a happy childhood, or maybe an unhappy childhood, or a lonely childhood, right? Possibly if you were an only child, right? If you don't have any brothers or sisters, maybe you had a lonely childhood. Maybe not. Maybe you had lots and lots of friends. Turn off my notification, sorry. If you didn't have a lot of money, you could say I was a deprived child. My granddad, right, they grew up during the war. They didn't have a lot of money. In fact, no, he grew up before then, but they were very, very poor. So he had a deprived childhood, right? And childish is used, it means you're behaving like a child. So actually, we don't use childish for children because, of course, children behave in a childish way. That's natural. But we often use childish for adults, right? When adults are being like children. Do you know, like sometimes the politicians in the Houses of Parliament, they go, you did this wrong. No, you're the stupid one. No, you're really stupid. You know, they're so childish. They're like little children. So you can say the politicians are childish. So we talk about childish behaviour or a childish attitude, maybe. Okay, great, good. So, what else have we got? Good. Any other expressions coming up? Well, CK talks about being a gifted child. Absolutely. If you're very, very clever, then you can be a gifted child. Absolutely. Okay, anything else? Adorable child. I'm an only child. Parnia, you're an only child. Great. Oh, okay, childish, right, is similar. This is really good. And I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but I should learn. Not but im, right? Immature. Very often adjectives beginning with m, or p have a im, right? Immature. And again, we use that often for adults, right? You're so immature. Come on, grow up. Right, okay. Good, some great expressions there. Very, very nice. So, we've talked a bit about children, childhood. Let's have a quick look about growing up. Because, again, if you're talking about your childhood, you probably want to say something like, I grew up in my case, right? I grew up in Manchester, right? I grew up in Manchester. You'll notice, if you're listening carefully, that we actually pronounce the W, right? Listen carefully. I grew up, wup. Follow me, wup, wup. Grew up, grew up. Can you see? I grew up in blah, blah, blah. I grew up in Manchester. What about you? 100 different people saying a different answer. It would be great if I could listen to you. Or maybe not. That would be very confusing. Hundreds of different voices in my head. I grew up in Manchester. All of these, right, are the same meaning. I was brought up in Manchester. I was raised in Manchester. I was born and bred in Manchester. So born there and bred. Bred, to breed, we normally use for animals. When you breed cats and dogs and you breed pigs, right? You bring up animals. But we use it here metaphorically to talk about, people. I was born and bred by my parents in Manchester, right? Born and bred. If you were paying attention on Thursday last week or in my video yesterday, this is a binomial, right? Born and is and born and bred. Born and bred. Follow me again. I was born and bred. I was born and bred in Manchester. Nice. Feel the rhythm. I was born and bred in Manchester. I was born and bred in Hanoi. Maybe, or somewhere else. Okay, great. What about you guys? Have a practice. Something that's true for you. Speak it out, and if you want to type as well. Kirat, I nourish in. No, we don't say that. No. Right, doing right. Haha, I was born and bred in Hanoi, which is the capital of Vietnam. Nice, building your clauses. Very good. Rudra, I wasted my golden years in Vegas. A misspent childhood, right? Your best years you wasted. Why did you waste them? Yuko, I was raised in a lovely family. Very nice. Brilliant. Right, NR Newell, I grew up almost, right? So you've got I grew up, but not at, right? So we'll change it, not at my born place, but in my birthplace. That's what we say. I grew up in my birthplace, right? In the same place where I was born. Nice. Great. Brilliant. I was born and bred in Gyeonggi-do. Palava, changing it a little bit. I was born and brought up in Ontario. That's great, Palava. We can be creative, right? We can chop, we can change a little bit. Born and bred is a fixed binomial, but you're here making up a new one. That's great. I was born and brought up in Ontario. So that's great, creative. And I think that answers the question from Dukauba, Precious. Can I say I was born and raised in? Yes, you can, right? You can be creative with the language here. You can change it around a little bit. Brilliant. Emily, I knew that. I was born and bred in Taipei. I knew you were born and bred there. How did I know that? I didn't know this, though, that here Wu was brought up in Jiangsu province. This is quite funny from Gracious. I was born in Kerala and bred in Mumbai. Now I'm laughing because you're being really creative here. And now because you're separating two activities, the bred almost loses the metaphor because born and bred has that metaphor. There's a danger here that somebody thinks you're talking about animals. You were bred like an animal in Mumbai. For me, it's very, very creative. It's extremely creative, but just be a bit careful with that. I would say I was born in Mumbai. Well, I was born in Kerala and bred in Mumbai. I was born in Kerala and raised in Mumbai. Yes. I was born in Kerala and brought up in Mumbai. Yes. I was born in Kerala and bred in Mumbai. I think the listener, if they're English, will be smiling at that. I hope that makes sense, Gracious, but, great. Excellent. Let's move on. Any others just before we move on? Yeah, you don't have to say a place. You can say in a hilly area. I was born and bred in a hilly area, right? Vivian, yeah, my motherland is Malaysia. Some people say motherland, fatherland. Yes. Yep. Brilliant. we've got all of that. Nice, some good comments there. So brilliant, some nice expressions there talking about kind of basic vocabulary. And just to finish up on basic vocabulary, we're talking about memories, right? So we can say, I remember, of course, you know, I remember my childhood well, you know, like my grandfather, I remember when I was a boy, we used to, or you can say recall, I recall my childhood. I recall when I was living in Manchester, we used to. Or I have a clear memory of my childhood in Manchester. I have a clear memory of my childhood. So all of these are different ways for us to say, I remember, right? So it's good to build up your vocabulary and build your flexibility, right? Flexibility is so important. Never, never, never just memorize the answers. And don't just copy answers I give. Steal the vocabulary, steal the phrases, steal the ideas, but then be flexible and create your own answers. Creativity, brilliant. I mean, that's what real high-level language use is about, right? Being creative as well as flexible. Brilliant. Good. I'm going to move on for a moment. We're going to talk next about this, right? We're going to talk about activities you did as a child, right? So what did you do as a child? I mean, what do you remember from your childhood? Things that you did, right? I'm going to have a drink, and I want you guys make some comments down here. Let's have a look. What did you do as a child? Great. Like to pretend a lot. Yeah, pretend games was really popular. I used to play with, so here you either should say a friend or friends, right? Hide and seek. Oh, one of my favourite games, hide and seek. Yeah, brilliant. Used to, very nice. So notice, because it's a habit repeated again and again, we used to play hide and seek. I have a clear memory of stealing milk powder from the kitchen in my childhood. Really? I hope your stealing did not carry on, Gagan. Okay, now this is Kimia, you're almost there. If my mind serves me, you're almost there. The expression you're looking for is, if my memory serves me right, I used to So that's what we're looking for, Kimia, but great. If my memory serves me right, I used to, right? And then you talk about what you used to do. Oh, Nell, fantastic. Great. I recall I was a good runner. Fantastic. I usually played soccer after school. Yeah, join the club. Me too. We used to play soccer. So used to or usually played. Both of those are great, right? Really, really good. Saba, you were a naughty, difficult, mischievous, wayward child. Saba, I teased my parents, right? Just remember that D there, right? I teased my parents. Gulsafa, we always played in the street, right? Which is less common now. Well, partly because of safety, but partly because of coronavirus, right? Nazila says, we would play, where are you, Nazila? Come back. We would play lots of made-up games, right? Brilliant, made-up games. Very, very good. So we usually played So let's make a note in made-up games or pretend games. We can say both of those. It would help if I could type. We usually played made-up games or pretend games, right? Excellent, good. We played, what else did we play? Hide and seek. It's a great game where one person hides and the other has to look for them, right? We always played in the street. Yeah, what else can we add in here? If my memory, I'll put this one in as well, serves me right, that's quite a nice one to remember. I used to play in the streets. Great, I used to play in the streets. Fantastic, good. What else did you do? Right, Clara, we used to play actively outdoors back then. That's nice, back then. Let me add that because I like that. Back then is a nice time indicator, right? Just indicating when it was, adding a bit of richness to your language. Back then, very nice, great. Yeah, good. Eat mud. Maybe. Asanka used to listen to stories. Okay. Yeah. As far as I can remember, when I was in childhood, not when I was in childhood, I would just say in my childhood, right? That'd be much more natural. As far as I can remember, in my childhood, I used to play football with my friends, right? That's nice. Let's add that one as far as I can remember. I'm laughing at my typing. I'm trying to do 3 things at once and it's not working. Great. Let me roll you out. As far as I can remember. Excellent, good. So those are different activities, right? You all do. There's lots more up here. Oh, Dr. Nichelle. I remember dancing in various forms, like classical. Ah, right, not in various forms. I remember dancing. I remember dancing in different ways. I remember dancing different styles, let's say. Let's make it just a bit more natural. Yeah, I remember dancing in different styles, like classical, folk, western, yeah. Rolex, could I say I was used to playing hide and seek? Not really, because that means that it's something you got used to doing, right? And I think here you just want to say it's something you did as a habit. So grammatically, yes, you can, but I don't think it's the right meaning here. It's more, I used to play, right? I was used to something means you were accustomed to doing it. And I wouldn't say that's quite what we want to say. Right. Okay. Brilliant. Good. Let's. I just want to share a couple of others that I wrote down here with you. And just to emphasize, because we've said used to, right? I used to go. So these are what we call past habits. So not just once. You can say I played football, but that might mean just one time. You can say I usually played football. That's great. Or I used to go to the park with my friends, right? I used to, plus the verb, I used to go. Or we would, again, a regular past habit. We would sit there for hours chatting away. Now, chatting here means talking, not chatting on the phone, because we didn't have mobile phones when I was a kid. Or it wasn't uncommon for us to play football in the park and then hang out until tea time. It wasn't uncommon for us, right? Means we would often. It was quite regular, using the negative. Creative, right? Creativity. It wasn't uncommon for us to play football, right? Brilliant. Good. Some nice expressions there. Excellent. Now, let's move on. What's next? Ooh, I'm going to move next to the riddle. It's the riddle. Already? Surely not. Yes, it is. Already. Time for the riddle. Okay, now for those of you who are new, I just like to break up the class a little bit and do a riddle. That's like a puzzle where I test your intelligence to see if you're as bright as a button, or to see if you're as sharp as a knife, or to find out whether maybe you're not the sharpest tool in the shed. No, you are all very, very sharp. I'm sure of it. You're all very sharp. But this is a riddle. A riddle? A ruddle? What's a ruddle? Ruddle is a kind of beer. Maybe that's my subconscious. I'm thinking about having a beer. Ruddle's beer. No, this is a riddle, and it's a little puzzle, right? Let me see if you can get this one, right? I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to get you to rack your brains. Really, really think hard about this one. And again, I've tried to change it a little bit so you don't look it up in the internet, because I know what you like. If you're sharp, you means you're clever. Sharp is clever. I'm as sharp as a knife. Not the, but a. I'm as sharp as a knife. So here's the riddle. Are you guys ready? I think there's a time lag here with the comments, but here's the riddle. Boris is like, hang on, not that one. I used to play that. I said, good. Where's Boris? Come on. Bring it on. Yes, come on. Ah, Emma, you've changed your name. I do recognise you now. Yes, good. Yeah, Romain, I am tricking you. I'm not tricking you out, right? I'm catching you out, but I'm tricking you. But I'm not out. I'm tricking you or catching you out. Great. Here we go. Listen carefully. Here's the riddle. I can talk, but I have no mouth. I communicate, but I have no body. You can hear me, but not see me. Catching us out. I'm going to catch you out. Yes, I'm going to catch you out with this. Rudra, let's go, baby. Who are you calling baby? I'm 52. Right. I can talk, but have no mouth. I communicate, but have no body. You can hear me, but not see me. What am I? Internet, music, no. Computer, nope. Radio, nope. Air, no, not quite. Sound, yeah, but that's not the answer I'm looking for. And you can hear me better on a windy day. Right? So, I can talk but have no mouth. I communicate but have no body. You can hear me but not see me. You can hear me better on a windy day. Let me add that. And I've probably given you too much there. I've probably given you the answer. Mobile phone, no. Manas, well done. Wind, Diane, no, not wind. Music, no. Siri, no. Imagination, no. Air, no. Words, no. Mind, no. Only one of you has got it. Manas has got it. Well done. So I've caught out a lot of you, but of course a lot of you will complain because Your answers are probably also correct. But the one I was thinking of is an echo. I can talk but have no mouth. I communicate but have no body. You can hear me better on a windy day, right? That's an echo. Echo, 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 echo. So well done, some of you who got the right answer. That is the riddle for today. Hunky dory. Well done, everybody. Let's move on. From the riddle, what comes after the riddle? Ah, this is interesting. So, coming to my notes. And let me come here. Let me close all of these. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. You know we're talking about childhood, right? So I can get rid of the childhood thing. Now then, we're going to talk about toys, right? Different toys. We've talked a bit about toys, but I'm going to go into a bit more detail. And I found this really cool website, and it talks about different toys, right? I can show you here. All-time favourite childhood toys. Not shirts, that's an advertisement. But let me show you some of these toys so you know the word. No, I don't want you giving me notifications. Thank you very much. And then we'll talk about your toys. So let's just share a few here. The rattle. Well, the rattle was for babies, right? I mean, that's for very young children, the rattle. Bicycle, of course, very, very common toy for many, many people. Stacking toys, or like building blocks, but making a stacking toy. Interesting. Toy cars, toy trucks, toy vehicles for many, many boys and girls. Lego, of course. I don't know if you've had Lego as a child, but that was one of the best-selling toys. Barbie and action figures. So, interestingly, we tend to say for girls, we say a doll, D-O-L-L, a Barbie doll or another kind of doll, but not for boys. Boys, I don't know why, but we don't like to say dolls. We say action figures because it sounds more like action, adventure, and exciting. Like a doll sounds like cooking and pretending to. Well, dolls nowadays, gosh, they cry, they eat, and they poo. I mean, incredible the dolls nowadays. But for boys, action figures. Action figures. What else? Puzzles, right? Jigsaws. In England, we call them jigsaws, but also puzzles. Microscopes, yeah, science toys. Lots of kids. Maybe my daughter got a microscope. She's got one of those. Fun for science. Puppets, maybe cuddly toys as well. You might have balls, of course. Balls is one of the simplest. What's not on there is wooden spoon. Grandad, rest in peace. Crayons, great for colouring, of course, very popular toy. Interesting that that's a toy, but you could talk about that. Musical instruments, of course, and maybe not the real piano or guitar, but pretend musical instruments, pretend guitar, things like that. Do you remember the Rubik's Cube? Push toy, things you have to push. Dolls or plush animal, that's another one, plush animal. Blocks, building blocks, very, very popular. Dress up clothes, right, for boys and girls. Cardboard box, well, why not? My granddad would have liked that. And then, of course, board games. If you remember Monopoly, Cluedo, Snakes and Ladders, and Play-Doh for building and making things, right? Okay, fantastic, great. So all of those are some of the most popular toys. Of course, I'll share that link with you. It's quite useful for vocabulary. But my question for you guys is, what about you? What toy did you like the best as a child? Let me know. What toy did you like? Ah, Uno. I know Uno, actually. Very, very good. We had, Sulfi yes tells us, a toy telephone, which you can use it between rooms. My uncle brought it as a child. I thought it was a real phone. Yeah. That's great. A toy telephone. Toy telephones. Very nice. Good. Darts. Yes. Great. The girlie says, what does the girlie say? Video games? Ah, you're a millennial, aren't you, girlie? You must be. Rachel had a mini cooking set. Nice. Yeah, miniature toys. Now, Richard Harsha, do you mean like miniature figures? Miniature figures, like action figures, or miniature buildings, or something else? Joyce, this was one of my favourite board games. Board games interesting, right? Because when you think of bored, you think, I'm bored. But it's not the same, of course, right? it's the same pronunciation, right? But when I am bored, B-O-R-E-D, I play a board game. Because board games are really exciting. So I think that's quite interesting, a little bit. Snakes and ladders, a little bit. Come on, Keith, that's not interesting. When I'm bored, I play a board game. Good for pronunciation. Snakes and Ladders, one of my favourite board games. It really, really was. Absolutely. Ah, Adblock. Thank you, Nachiket. I should do that. Yes, yes. So neat. I love this. The letter block thingies. Great. Natural English. When you don't quite know the word, right? And this is great in IELTS speaking. If you don't know the word, just say thingies, right? Oh, my favourite toy was those building thingies. Oh, those building thingies that you put on top of each other. Great, you can use another word. That's paraphrasing. The letter block thingies. Right. Ah, right, great. Ancient living. Right, walkie-talkie, Mohammed says. Walkie-talkie, great. Susan also, snakes and ladders, darts, puzzles. Ah, Uranus, Dragon Ball figures. Is that from the Japanese cartoon? Right. Ludo is another board game. PlayStation. Great. Nice. Marbles. Right, Sheena, those little glass balls that you used to roll and try and hit. Nice. Barbie. Barbie doll. Brilliant. Right, this is good. Oh, back then I used to play. Let's just add the two, make sure that everybody's clear. Yeah, back then, back in the day, I used to play chess with my bro. Yeah, brilliant. New also says plush animals, right? Those cuddly toys, favourite toys. Brilliant. Lots of ideas there you can talk about. And of course, you probably want to say why you liked it, right? So what would I say? Well, do you remember I showed you the slinky, right? I might say, if I'm talking about this as my favourite toy, as a child, my favourite toy was the slinky. I used to play with it a lot because I was the youngest child, and my brother and sister were a bit older, and they were always out playing together. So sometimes I was left on my own. Oh. And the slinky was a really fun game to play on your own. It would give me hours of fun and entertainment just watching it bounce down the stairs. And it's a nice toy because it's cheap, it's simple, and it can't really break. Well, not really. It's very durable, right? And nice. That was my favourite toy. Okay, excellent. Toys that you liked. Good. Brilliant. Brilliant. We've got lots of more ideas there. Look at each other's, guys. You can look at your comics together. Oh, here's a nice one from Material IELTS. Hello, Material IELTS. Welcome to the club. When I was a child, I used to be passionate. Let's just add, I know these are probably typo mistakes. I used to be passionate about drawing. It was fun to work with brushes and colourful paintings. So my parents bought me a lot of brushes and colour pencils as toys. Great. as toys, as toys. We'll just take out the. Nice, nice answer. Great. We've also got, oh, I like this from Sana. I just like copying my brothers back then, so I like playing the chess. Again, chess is one of those ones that we don't say the. I don't know why. We just say chess, playing chess, to play chess. I just liked copying my brothers back then. You can't see what I'm doing, can you? Back then, thumbs up, Sana. Back then. So I like playing chess. Oh, Mahjong. I learned to play Mahjong when I was in China. Great game, but I lost a lot of money. We used to make a den with pillows. That's what my daughter does. She loves that. She used to make a den all the time. I think there's something about hiding and having your own private space, right? To make a den with the pillows and having your own little area. Excellent. If you want to talk about chess, Trang says, for example, I like chess because it is a mysterious and intellectual game. Very nice. And Dong says, I used to play with squishy food like Play-Doh, because it was so soft, which made me so relaxed. It made me relaxed. Great. Whoops, I'll just add that. Instead of relaxing, it is relaxing, but it makes me relaxed, yeah? Great. Promise, I'm from Manchester in England. Great, some lovely ideas there. So we've talked a bit about toys, right? Let's move on from toys to something different. I'm just going to give you a little bit of vocabulary that might help you out with this. Some interesting expressions. I wouldn't let go of my favourite doll. You know when you like something so much and you're playing it all the time and you're always there. I was always with my slinky. I wouldn't let go of my slinky, right? It's you keep it all the time. Similar meaning, I was obsessed with my train set. Obsessed means you're thinking about it all the time. I was obsessed with my train set. Let's come back to pronunciation, because as well as pronouncing words correctly, you want to get the stress in your phrase. That helps your fluency, right? So listen to the stress. I was obsessed with my train set. I was obsessed with my train set. Great. Change the toy. I was obsessed with my slinky. One more. I was obsessed with my chess set. Great. Now you try. That's nice. You can feel that I did right? I loved my chess set. There's a really strong stress there, right? It's not I love my chess set, dum dum dum. No, I loved my chess set. Great, now say it for your toy. Great, and really use your body, right? I loved my chess set. Brilliant. Now here's an interesting word, tethered. Tethered means connected. We hear this quite a bit in technology and mobile phones, because you know so many people are connected to their phones like it's a part of your body. Almost it's like your hand, and if you lose your phone you think you've been cut off, your hand has been cut off. So tethered means connected or attached, but not literally, kind of metaphorically. So I was tethered to my iPad, right? It's a nice word, meaning connected. So let me just make that clear here. It's a bit high level, but you know, if you're a band 7 or a band 8, great. If you're a band 6, don't worry too much. But if you're a band 7, you can use this, right? I was tethered to my iPad. I was tethered to my chess set. Yeah. I wouldn't let go of my favourite cardboard box. Nice, love it, Amanjot. I was in love with my bike. Oh, this is nice, an extra one here. I was tethered to the Rubik's Cube. I was tethered to my bicycle. Now this is a nice one, but I'll just change your preposition. I was magnetised by my Barbie dolls. I was magnetised by my Barbie dolls. I was magnetised by, think. Yeah, Nazila, I think all people are tethered to their phones. Yeah, I was glued to my mobile phone. I was tethered to my Barbie doll. Yeah, it's in your hand all the time. Nice, right? Nice little expression. Good. I would go everywhere with my bike. That's another way of expressing it, right? I would go everywhere with my bike. So some nice expressions you can use. Let me just see what else. Anything else coming up? Tamagotchi. I remember the Tamagotchi. That great Japanese invention. I was tethered to my Tamagotchi. Brilliant. Oh, Rhoda, this is interesting. I was tethered to my Bible. Very interesting. And why not? I was tethered to the television. Yes. I was tethered to. So notice it's to, not with, right? I was tethered to. I was tethered to. Okay, great, Marcina. Thank you. I was tethered to my PlayStation. Excellent. Now, keep practicing, but I'm going to move on and to look at a final kind of area or question here. And I'm going to look at the question of how life was different when you were a child, right? What was different? Obviously, toys may be different, attitudes, politics, the world, climate change, family units. Lots of things are probably different when you were a child, depending how old you are now, right? So I'm going to take a poll with you. Now, I've used this before, but it is interactive, so I need you to work with me on this. I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want you to tell me what you think, right? So it's going to be about childhood. So let me open it up here. Okay, so let me just share the screen with you and get rid of me. So I just want to ask you, to what extent do you agree or disagree, right? Notice on the, let me come back. Notice over here on the right, just here, right, it's strongly agree. And over here, it's strongly disagree. So what you're going to do is you're going to go up here to menti.com and use the code here 4991187. Okay, let me show you that a little more clearly. Okay, so go to menti.com, MENTI. I think there's a mobile app as well, but menti.com. Put in the code 4991187. And you can give your opinion, and we'll look at the average actually. So as you start putting in your information, more and more people will join, and we will see, we get the average result, right? So that's www.menti.com, code 4991187. And the question, well, the ideas are kids are safer now compared to 20 years ago. Second, attitudes to family dinner are different now. Kids spend more time alone nowadays. Ooh, looks like a lot of people agree with that, strongly agree, 4.4. And finally, Kids have better access to information about health and nutrition. Quite a lot of you seem to agree. So more and more of you are giving your opinion, so the averages are changing. And what's interesting here, I think, is that kids are safer now. People are not really agreeing, almost disagreeing that kids are safer now. So kids, maybe, it looks like they were safer in the past. But you all seem to agree, more or less, on 4, that attitudes to family dinner are different now. And we'll talk about that. In what way? Kids spend more time alone, also, you seem to agree. And most of all, kids have better access to information about health and nutrition. Interesting. So I can see some of you are still voting, right, and coming in over here. So let me come and sit in the corner. Very interesting. So, well, let's talk about that, right? Kids are safer now. A lot of you think, well, no, not really. They're not safer now. Now, that may be because with coronavirus, it's riskier for children to go out onto the street because they may pick up an infection. They may pick up the virus, absolutely. But maybe also the crime rate might be higher than in the past. Maybe in your city there are fewer people on the streets. People tend to stay at home more, so the streets might be more dangerous. I mean, certainly when I was a kid, we used to go down to the park, like age 8 or 9 years old, on our own and play there until it was dark and then go home for tea. Children today, that wouldn't happen, not in Manchester. There would be parents with them, probably. So that's interesting. Attitudes to family dinner. Let me see what you're saying. Cybercrime is worse now. Okay, Vienhard, that's a good point. Let's put these over here. So being safe because there's cybercrime is higher, so maybe children are not safe online. That's true, right? Anything else? Okay, here's a good one from Sophia. Talking about attitudes to family dinner. I completely agree with the idea that children become more reluctant to have dinner with their immediate family. Yeah, more reluctant, right? Reluctant just with a U. And I wonder why. Is that because they're busy on their mobile phones? They want to get back to their computers. Why are they more reluctant? It'd be interesting to see. What do you think? Why are they more reluctant to have family dinner? Right? Kids spend more time alone. Right? Interesting here. When I was a child, days were longer and people were less busy. This is very true. Parents are busier than ever before. Right? Parents are working longer hours. There are more women in the workplace. So it's not uncommon for both the mother and the father to be working. So the children may be left alone. Maybe they're lonelier because of that. Right, very, very interesting. Also talking about safety, right? Kidnapping happens nowadays more than before. So the children are not more safe today. Very good point. Again, depending on the country, but probably true. What else have we got? So, here's a good one about safety. I hadn't thought about this, right? Plus, there are lots and lots of cars in the streets. So it's more dangerous for children to cross the road, right? They may get hit or knocked down. Great. Manpreet, there's the issue of child abuse, right? Very much. That seems to be much stronger than before. Child trafficking is also a horrific, but it is a real issue. So also these are things that make children less safe. Yeah. Good. So children being on their own, SD Rocks says, nowadays children prefer to play indoor games like PUBG and they are not much sociable with their friends, right? They're not very sociable with their friends. So they're more alone, possibly. It's good. It's a very good point. Anything else we can add here? This is nice. Yeah, Cowstab says. So with families becoming more nuclear and with both parents working, children seem to have carved out a routine. Bum, bum, bum. Nice expression. Carved out a routine for themselves and seldom have food with their family. Very good, right? That's attitudes to dinner. Really nice. Good. Anything else? Just checking. Oh, Elisa, interesting one. So we're talking about safety as in health, I think, here. How can they be safe with the amount of agrotoxics, sugar and processed food in their meals, right? Now that's interesting, Elisa, because it also ties into the question of slow down. It ties into the question at the end about having kids have better access to information about health and nutrition. Now, right, kids do, right, but are they healthier? Maybe not. Maybe not, because there are more unhealthy drinks, Coca-Cola, sugar drinks, processed food, fast food. So that's also an issue, right? Okay, brilliant. Guys, you've got some amazing ideas and answers there. Really, really good. To talk about this topic, I'm just going to close that for a moment, but brilliant. Very, very nice. Excellent. So life, very, very different, right? In the past, I will gather up some of the comments you've made and add them to my notes, but we're going to come to the end now as we finish up. I'm going to finish, as always, with some vocabulary review to see if you've been paying attention. So we're going to do it through Kahoot. If you're new, Kahoot is a fun game for us just to practice and review a bit of vocabulary. So let's have a look. I'll just set it up and we're going to do a little bit of a review here. So bear with me. And I'll just share comment. As I'm getting ready, I'll share some of your comments. Nice comment. I'm just going to get my Kahoot ready. Some interesting comments here. Nice comments. I'm nearly ready. No, wait. I want to play. Okay. Right, good. Some very interesting comments. So, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready for Kahoot. Oh, Marcina, that's a very interesting question. Can you please teach tenses? Over the next 2 weeks, the videos I do on Sunday, that's recorded, will be about grammar and tenses. So that's really interesting you put that, yes. I think you are addicted to Kahoot, Yo-Yo. You are addicted to it. Great. Haki Makon, read mine please. I have. Okay, teach. I'm going to teach. We're going to play the game now. So you need to go into Kahoot. We're going to play the classic game as usual. So what happens is, for those of you who are new, you go to... So loud. I'll turn it up later. But if you can go to www.kahoot.it, or there's an app as well if you want to make it more convenient. Put in the number 93663 and put in your name, and you can see now already over there there. Lots of names, people are coming in. We've got 55 players, 59, you're all coming in. Rudyard Kipling has joined us. That's nice, back from the grave, Rudyard. Yumiko, nice to see you here. Fantastic, brilliant. So we've got lots of people joining. Let me get out of the way and let you join. If you can't get in, you can just write your answer in the comments. Kiran, thank you very much for that. So we've got 150 people, great. Alice from Vietnam, Crazy Joe, Mido, you almost won this, didn't you? Kylie, Joyce, some great names. Okay, let's go straight in. Let's start the game. You can keep joining, but we're actually going to start right now. So it's all about childhood, right? So here's the first question. Which of the following can describe the past? Which of the following can describe the past? You've got 20 seconds left. So just if you're in the comments, you can just write the colour. C is done. Helen is done. Which of the following is used to describe the past? Well done, 129 people. I used to swim. That is the only one we use for the past. I used to swim, the blue one. Well done, all of you. Fantastic. That was really, really good. Let's see how we've done. Scoreboard. So Manu is top of the pops. Well done, Manu. Younger, second. Mohina coming in third. Let's move on to the next question. Number 2. Question 2 of 4. Which is a synonym of I grew up in London? A synonym of I grew up in London. Very, very carefully, right? Read it very carefully. Well done, Steve. Then Brada. Jenna, look carefully. Right, so here, 121 did very well. I noticed a lot of people looked at the red one. I was bought in London. Right, there's a problem there. That means somebody paid money and took you away. Bought, right? You're confusing it with I was brought, B-R-O-U-G-H-T, up. So here you're missing the up and it's the wrong verb. So the answer is I was raised in London. Well done, excellent. Let's see how you're all doing. One moment. Manu, you've lost your place. It's Mohina has moved up into first place. Excellent. Here we go. Next one. 3rd out of 4. True or false? I'll get out of the way. I was a wayward child means I was naughty. True or false? I was a wayward child means I was naughty or mischievous. Eight, 7. Trues in the comments. Oh, right. Not as many as I was hoping for. But that was a difficult one, right? And you had to be at the start of the class where we had that word. Wayward means naughty or mischievous. So difficult. Great. True. Let's find out who is leading. Mohina is still there. Wow. But look out because Gang and Baby are right behind you, Mohina. We're going to move in to the 4th and final question. Oh, I was tethered to my iPad. I was tethered to my iPad means. 10 seconds. Well done, Diska. Well done, Andy. Wow, now that's better. That's what I like to see. The vast majority of you say, yes, it was connected, tethered to my iPad, right? I was tethered. Children nowadays are tethered to their mobile phones. Connected. Nice vocabulary. Brilliant. The moment of truth. Who is the winner? Well, let's find out. Childhood, the podium in third place. Baby, very pertinent, very good for childhood. Giang and brilliant, well done, Giang. It's fantastic. Top of the box, first place. Well done indeed. That's great. Let's keep the music going. Yeah, congratulations, everybody. You're learning more and more. Remember, you can always go back and review. And of course, if I just turn that off, hang on. Of course, at the end of the class, no, not at the end of the class, later this afternoon, in about 3 or 4 hours, you can go to the website, it's Keith Speaking Academy, this one up here, right? So that's keithspeakingacademy.com. Go to the free lessons, free live lessons, and when you go there, you can download the PDF of the lesson notes from today's class, and actually from all of the other classes, right? You can download, we've got idioms to talk. If you want to make a donation, you can do that here. You can go on level 1 or 2 or 3, or choose your own. But there, just if you want to help me dedicate more time to the lessons, that's a big, big help. But you can go on and you can just start downloading actually lots of stuff. Come on, move, please. It's not moving, it's not letting me move, is it? There we go. Cities, we've done food, we've done skills, sport, work-life balance, home and accommodation. You can do some binge watching and binge learning about comedy, vocabulary, how to learn vocabulary, everything you need. It's nearly all there. So that's it. Listen, guys, thank you very, very much for joining me today, all of you. If you're new, I hope this is useful. Please do come back every Tuesday, Thursday, 10 o'clock. Also, a final point, in the comments box, if you've got some ideas for future lessons, right, topics you would like to cover, if you want to talk about science or history or other topics, please tell me in the comments which topics you would like to look at to give me some ideas for future classes, right? And of course, for those of you taking the test this week, fingers crossed, best of luck. I'm sure you'll do a great job. Stay calm, keep calm and carry on. Stay calm and collected, smile, try and enjoy the test. And that's great. Have a great, great time. Oh, I'll just let you know as well. So Keith Speaking Academy, that's the address. If you want to join the Facebook group, there's lots of activity there as well. It's called Keith's Mastermind Community for IELTS Speaking. I made it as long as I could. Stupid, I know. Never mind. But that's the Facebook group if you want to join us. Brilliant. Great. Thanks for your suggestions. Keep them coming. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon. Take care, my friends. All the best. Bye-bye.